This video may be made for a very specific niche of people who not only like both sports and video games, but specifically American football and Pokemon enough to understand what's happening. But hey, if you don't stick around, this is going to be a lot of fun, and who knows what you may learn about either. We're making football teams made entirely out of Pokemon for each region in Pokemon, so why not? Let's start in Kanto. Straight off the bat, our first pick off the board is none other than the 286-pound four-armed superpower Pokemon Machamp at center. For those of you who don't know, I will briefly go over these positions and what they do on the field. The center's two main jobs is to snap the ball to the quarterback and then block the defensive line. And run blocking, but we'll get to that. So Machamp having 4 superpowered arms gives it an outrageous advantage at this position, as it can do both of those things simultaneously. Even if he is only 5'3", but that's actually pretty tall for a Kanto Pokemon, as you'll see. We did have to put some ground rules in place, so we did ban legendaries outright, and flyers do still have the ability to fly, but only at like max jumping height. They can't be flying all over the field. We gotta level the playing field. And finally, Pokemon cannot use moves like Light Screen, Protect, whatever. They can only use their natural abilities and what they can do physically. Now, the Kanto region is old school, so we do want to roster a fullback for some good old power running. The fullback runs in front of the ball carrier to block the defense out of the way, which is why Rhyhorn is the perfect choice here. Yes, Rhyhorn, not Rhydon. Sure, he may be slow and only 3 foot tall, but he is 253 pounds of a rock rhinoceros. It just charges through all obstacles. Good luck. But who's going to be carrying the ball behind him? We need somebody who is both fast, strong, and not afraid of contact. So Primeape is the perfect choice. Standing at 3 foot tall and 70 pounds, you may think he is just a speedy little guy to run around you with his 95 speed, but no. With his vital spirit and 105 attack, he can run through you as well as around you. Especially with those dex entries. Imagine he's like Waterboy, Forrest Gump, and Cam Scatabo all mixed into one. So let's figure out who else is going to block for him and give him some lanes to run through. At the ever-important left tackle, we choose Kangaskhan. Standing at a whopping 7 feet tall, sure, she's only 176 pounds, but with her protective maternal nature, she's not letting anyone get to our boys in the backfield. And with that same line of thinking, we slot Nidoqueen right next to her as our left guard. She may be a bit undersized, but she's so much stronger than she looks, and she uses her rugged body to seal off the entrance to its nest. I wish you luck getting past these two protective kaiju mamas. But we do need some size on our offensive line, so we plant none other than the 6'7", 220-pound Venusaur at our right guard, who will be using her vines to block the defenders coming through the line, but I fear we will be getting some holding calls here. It is what it is. And if you didn't know, in football, you can push and shove and knock down and all that good stuff, the defenders, to get them out of the way, but you can't like grab a hold of them and keep them from turning away from you. That's a penalty, which Venusaur's probably gonna get. And our right tackle, coming in at 6'3" and 264 pounds, is the original Pokemon himself, Rhydon. It can destroy buildings in one strike, punch through boulders, and drill through any obstacle, which all sounds very illegal for a football game, but it is showing signs of intelligence, so Alakazam can coach him up right. But running the ball isn't the only way to succeed in the Pokemon Football League. You can also throw the ball downfield for some chunk yardage. The skills we're looking for at wide receiver are speed, agility, some size preferably, and most importantly, the ability to catch the ball.
Rapidash wide receiver? Bro, Rapidash doesn't have hands.
Which that rule is going to cut out some really big potential options like, you know, Jolteon or Scyther or Kabutops. Yet interestingly enough, our wide receiver 1 has an interesting way around that problem. You've all seen a dog catch a ball in its mouth, right? Well, our first pick on the outside has 110 speed, is 5'11" and 197 pounds, burning past those defenses on those fly routes and go balls. It is Dodrio, which again, if a dog can catch a ball in its mouth, Dodrio can catch it in one of its 3. Talk about a catch radius. And similarly, with our second wide receiver, we go with Golbat, who is only 5'3", which may be a bit undersized for a receiver, which is shockingly large for a bat. But it can fly, so its size isn't really an issue, even if it's only at jumping height. And with its 90 speed and giant mouth, it will not have a problem getting open and securing those catches. Tight end I could see being a confusing position if you didn't really know about it, but to put it most simply, it is a hybrid between the linemen who block and the receivers who catch. Tight ends can and do both. And Kanto might actually have the best tight end in the whole league. Standing at a massive 7'3" tall and 463 pounds, it is towering over most defenses, but wait, it still has 80 speed and it can fly? If you haven't guessed it by now, our tight end is the pseudo-legendary Dragonite. Dude is going for some Gronk numbers out here. Which is all fine and dandy, but who's gonna throw the ball to these great pass catchers? Well, we are allowing 1 Mega Evolution per team, and we decide to use ours on our quarterback. He may be a little short at 5'3", but he's a big boy at 200 121 pounds and has a mega launcher to, well, launch the ball deep downfield to the receivers. I could see that it may be a bit slow and could struggle with some short passes, but dude's got 78 speed and has the wrist launchers for those short, quick passes. Mega Blastoise is our Big Ben, future Hall of Fame quarterback. So let's jump over to picking our head coach, who will be in charge of both calling plays and keeping the whole team together and on the same page. And since Mewtwo is banned, we choose the other 5,000 IQ Psychic-type Pokemon, Alakazam. And who else could be our kicker/punter other than the kicking fiend himself, Hitmonlee? Kickers can kick field goals for 3 points, and the punter's job is to punt the ball deep into enemy territory and pin them down when the offense can't quite get their job done. Both of which Hitmonlee, I'm assuming, would be pretty great at. We're almost at the defense, but we need one more running back and one more receiver. So we go with Raichu as our running back 2 and Golduck as our wide receiver 3. You need your like Cooper Kupp type of guy, like your Adam Thielen, who's just gonna pop around and get that first down for you. He's well-rounded. He's smart. He plays the game right. He's sneaky athletic. He plays the game right. He's going to get that first down for you. Golduck's our wide receiver 3. But defense wins championships, especially in an old school region like Kanto. First order of business is we need to stop the run, so who better than the immovable roadblock himself, Snorlax. Sitting at 6 foot 11 inches tall and a gargantuan 1,000 pounds, nobody is running the ball up the middle on this team. Now, yes, he does only have 30 speed, so we do have to have some quickness on the outside to stop those speed sweeps and such. So after we put Golem at defensive tackle right next to him to really shore up that interior, we throw Nidoking at defensive end, which on defense is typically responsible for sealing the edge on like run plays and containing the quarterback and or rushing the quarterback and trying to tackle him before he can throw it. Nidoking may only be 4 foot tall and 136 pounds, but it's got 85 speed, 102 attack, and it prides itself on its strength and its steel-like hide to add to its powerful tackles. Imagine Aaron Donald, but on the outside. And on the other side of the defensive line, we have a sleeper defensive player of the year pick over here. Standing at an intimidating 6 foot 3 inches tall and 347 pounds, all while boasting 95 speed to get around those blockers and sack the quarterback, we have my favorite Pokemon of all time, the legendary Pokemon itself, Arcanine. You don't need hands to tackle, you've all seen police dogs do their thing, and this one is huge and very fast. Arcanine is your Miles Garrett of Pokemon, truly unfair on the outside edge. But we do need some fast and agile players on the outside to guard those receivers, so we're going to start with 2 cornerbacks. And their job, most simply put, is to guard the receiver and not let them catch the ball. So again, we need speed, agility, and the ability to swat the ball out of the air. Firstly, we actually go Gengar, who may not be the tallest, but at 4 foot 11, he's not tiny compared to most Pokemon, but more importantly is that 110 speed, and it mimics the shadows of people. That sounds like an absolute lockdown corner to me. Good luck getting open on Gengar. On the other side of the field, we have another sleeper pick here, and truly a great pull if I do say so myself. At 5 foot 3, 100 speed, and 120 special defense along with its 80 tentacles, Tentacruel is the best zone corner the league has ever seen. You're not getting the ball past him in coverage unless you burn him deep, which is what brings us to our safeties. What you want from your safeties is both somebody who is fast enough to keep up with and cover your receivers going deep, but also strong and tough enough to come crashing down into run plays and make some tackles. Therefore, at free safety, we go with Scyther, who may only be 5 foot tall, but with 105 speed, 110 attack, ninja-like agility, creating illusions to confuse the quarterback, and it leaps out to slice down its prey. Scyther is a truly terrifying defender. Made even more terrifying by our strong safety pick right next to him. Swooping in at 5 foot 11 inches tall with 130 speed and 105 attack, Aerodactyl is the perfect strong safety to both cover your speed receivers on the outside and make some viciously strong tackles. The last group we need to fill is our linebackers, and again, with this being an old school region, we are running a 4-3 set, which means there are 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers right behind them. Linebackers are similar to safeties, but just closer to the line and typically a bit bigger and a bit slower. In the middle, at the heart of our defense, is Poliwrath, who actually isn't the strongest choice here because only at 4 foot tall, 119 pounds, and only 70 speed, but there's really not a lot of good options in Kanto. We really kind of struggled with this.
Electabuzz is 3 foot tall, 66 pounds. Okay, maybe not.
The Kanto team is not that great, especially compared to the powerhouses that are Hoenn and Sinnoh, which you'll see in a different video. But to be fair, it does have some great attacks and defenses, and its muscles never grow tired. So, I mean, it works. Our outside linebackers are pretty great though. On the left side, we have Pinsir, who is again kinda small, but it has 85 speed and 125 attack, not to mention no one is breaking those vice grip tackles. And our final Pokemon on the field is our other outside linebacker, weighing in at 200 pounds, standing at 5'7", and it is the old champ who was always adored but has come into some strife with younger fans, the veteran Charizard. With his decent side speed and strength, Charizard is our old reliable vet who will never let us down. They may not be the flashiest or most skilled team in the league, but they do play a tough brand of smash mouth football, and they will bring it. Here are the Kanto Crabhammers. As I said, we are going to be making a video like this for every region and maybe every type if you guys really love this idea, and we are going to do like a bracket at the end and kind of see which teams are going to beat each other. So let me know what you think about this team, how you would improve it, and how I should do the matchup thing, because that could also be a really fun video. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the Johto region, whose team is not good.